Good morning, greetings, friends, and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I'm your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and sometimes deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being, and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body, you are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health challenge. That is why we are here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 32 years of practicing pharmacy, I've seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes, hypertension, obesity, skin diseases like acne, psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds, recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle, but what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure. Because the human biological system is a healing system, it's a regenerating system. It is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis. And while some folks may call that a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health, nutrition, prescription drugs, if you want to wean yourself off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, we are here for you. We want to be your go-to source for all things health and nutrition. 844-236-6010 is our number. And if you have a comment or success story, we love hearing those. You don't have to have necessarily a question about a health challenge. Just if you want to comment on anything we're speaking about here today or contribute to the conversation, 844-236-6010 is our number. I like it when this program's a dialogue rather than a monologue. It's more entertaining for me. It's more entertaining for the listeners. So if you have questions or comments, please don't hold back. 844-236-6010 is our number on The Bright Side. If you want to purchase longevity products, go to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. That's brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. You can purchase longevity products right off the website. You can click websites. You can click on the Join the Team link for a one-time $30 fee. You can be in business for yourself. Click on the Join the Team link at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. Or you can call 866-735-2470 if you want to speak to a person, real live human being, 866-735-2470. And also want to remind you to check out our Truth Skin Health products at truthtreatments.com. Sign up for our newsletter. Click on the I'm not sure if you click on it, but if you can just search for Pound Truth Treatments or search for Truth Treatments on your on our Facebook page, you can sign up, like the Facebook page, I guess, or follow the Instagram page, as they say, and you'll get notified when we do our Facebook Lives and our Instagram Lives, which I'm trying to do every week, about skincare, and we take questions on our lives, on our Instagram and Facebook Lives as well. So if you have skin health questions, we love hearing those. And of course, you can purchase our Truth Skin Health products at truthtreatments.com. Got new products coming out all the time. Our most recent product on truthtreatments.com is our fulvic mineral, plant-derived mineral capsules. Fulvic minerals are the electrical aspects or the electrical components of the dirt. We have not finished talking about that. We digressed, as we sometimes do on this program. We've been talking, most recently we've been talking about the minerals and how the minerals, how they can be obtained from from a nutritional supplement standpoint, and also from a food standpoint. Technically speaking, when we say minerals, we're not talking about minerals. We're actually talking about elements. When we talk about nutritional minerals, we should be saying nutritional elements. And this will kind of put things into perspective. It'll be easier to understand the very confusing nature of nutritional minerals if we think of the nutritional minerals not as minerals, but as elements. Technically speaking, a mineral is a chemical. It's already complex. Technically speaking, a mineral is already a combination of things. An element is not a combination of things. A nutritional element like zinc or copper or cobalt or sodium or silica, whatever, silicon, all of these are only elements. By the time we take them as a nutritional supplement, they're already complex. So a mineral and an element are different. What we're really looking for when we take a supplement, a mineral, quote, mineral supplement, is the element. But the fact that it's all a combination of things makes them very confusing. If it was just an element, you say, okay, well, how do I get cobalt? How do I get copper? How do I get zinc? How do I get selenium? But because we're not really talking about elements, we're talking about minerals, there's a whole bunch of different ways these elements come. Most of the times when we get an element from the health food store or from our supplements, we're not getting an element, we're getting a salt. And our body has to extract the element. So we get a salt like magnesium chloride. We want magnesium, we got to take magnesium chloride, our body's got to pull the magnesium out of the chloride. We want calcium, we take calcium carbonate. Our body's got to pull the calcium out of the carbonate. And the thing is, the body can only pull, or how effectively the body pulls the calcium out depends on whether the calcium is connected to carbonate or whether it's connected to sulfate or whether it's connected to oxide or whatever it is. For example, calcium carbonate is very difficult, is a very difficult way for calcium to come out, for the body to obtain its calcium. It doesn't really pull the calcium off the carbonate very well. It pulls the calcium off of citrate better. That's why Citracal, if you listen to the commercials anyway, is advertised as a better form of calcium because the body can pull the calcium away from the citrate. So understanding these different salt forms becomes important if you're going to be able to really get the most bang for your buck when it comes to nutritional supplements. Zinc is a classic one. I've been recommending zinc since my pharmacy school days in the early 1980s. We learned about zinc in pharmacy school as being an incredibly important mineral, I should say element, an incredibly important nutrient, an incredibly important bioelement, biomolecule, biosubstance. It's involved in hundreds of different chemical reactions, and also, especially for the immune system, and especially for the skin, but really for so many different things, and also very deficient. So that you put zinc back in the diet of an acne patient if they're deficient in zinc, and most or many at least acne patients are deficient in zinc, and amazing things happen. It is the go-to mineral for acne, also for eczema, really for all skin conditions, including aging. Nonetheless, deficiencies are really, really common. People are deficient in zinc a lot. So if you're going to take zinc as a supplement, you should know that if you take a salt form of zinc, like zinc sulfate, you're not going to get a lot of benefits or as much benefits, and you're definitely going to get sick or likely to get sick. On the other hand, when zinc is chelated, which is a special kind of salt, a chelate is a salt that is has an element that the body recognizes, is very familiar with. Picolinate is in the body, for example, and when you take zinc picolinate as a chelate, picolinate is a chelate substance. When you take zinc picolinate, your body really knows what to do with it. Chelate means claw, and the chelated portion of an element is usually something of biological origin, like a picolinate or an aspartate or a glycinate. Amino acids are very often the chelate form of minerals because the body really recognizes these amino acids, and the body uses chelation as a way to extract stuff from food. So it's a natural way of getting your supplements. Picolinate isn't exactly an amino acid, but it's similar. Actually, it is an amino acid technically, but it's not an essential amino acid. Anyway, aspartate, glycinate, picolinate, these are really good forms of the elements. These are really good mineral forms of the elements. Calcium aspartate, one of the best ways to get your calcium. Magnesium glycinate, one of the best ways to get your magnesium. Of course, then you're not only getting the magnesium, but you're also getting the glycine. And glycine is a really important amino acid that a lot of people are deficient in. It's a building block of connective tissue. Super important amino acid, actually. Aspartate is not quite as important, but still valuable as an amino acid. So when you take a chelated mineral, you're getting the mineral. It's easy for the body to handle, and you get the amino acid that's acting as the chelate. See how understanding how these things are put together can really help you take advantage of nutritional supplementation and get more bang for your buck. Picolinate on its own is pretty interesting, by the way. Picolinate is derived from tryptophan. And tryptophan is an essential amino acid, meaning you cannot make it, meaning you better get it in your diet, meaning if you're not getting it in your diet, you're probably not going to be making enough picolinate, and picolinate deficiency is a real thing, by the way, and that means you're not going to be chelating your minerals as effectively and getting the advantage of the zinc from your foods as effectively. Again, pointing to the very, very fundamental health relevance and importance of a good supplement program. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. We'll be back on the bright side right after this. Okay, we are back on the bright side. Pharmacist Ben here. 844-236-6010 is our number. Got lines open for you. Call 866-735-2470 to purchase longevity products, or head to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. And don't forget to check out our Truth Skin Health products at truthtreatments.com. That's plural, truthtreatments.com. Okay, so we are talking about chelation. Picolinate, which is a biological chelating agent. It's a natural chelating agent. Picolinate is made from tryptophan, one of my all-time favorite amino acids, and tryptophan deficiency and picolinate deficiency are both somewhat common. Tryptophan is actually it's an amino acid found in eggs and in high-protein foods. Dairy is a well-known source of tryptophan. Tryptophan is turned into a B vitamin. It's turned into the B vitamin niacin, interestingly enough. And that's kind of cool. Niacin is so important, vitamin B3 is so important for the body that the body will actually make its own niacin from tryptophan. And this is an important part of niacin nutrition. It's an important way that we get vitamin B3. Vitamin B3 is unspeakably important. It's called a vitamin. The definition of a vitamin is a substance that your body needs but can't make. Niacin doesn't really fit that definition, even though we call it a vitamin. We call it vitamin B3, but it's really so important. It's the one vitamin your body can actually make. Niacin deficiency, the disease caused by niacin deficiency, is called pellagra, and it's a very, very serious disease, deadly disease. In fact, that's one of the effects of pellagra. It'll kill you. Before you die, though, you get terrible diarrhea. Your brain goes crazy. You suffer from dementia. And your skin turns red and itchy and rashy. You get these dermatitises, I think you say it, dermatitises. And they call that the 4 Ds of pellagra. If you go to medical school, they'll tell you diarrhea, dementia, dermatitis, and death. That's how important niacin is. I sometimes wonder, is Alzheimer's disease really a niacin deficiency? Is dementia we know dementia is a niacin deficiency. Why shouldn't Alzheimer's disease be at least partially a niacin deficiency? If we really cared about our dementia patients in nursing homes, we'd be giving them niacin as a supplement or as a medicine even. Niacin deficiency, when it's mild, can cause things like social anxiety disorder. Dr. Abram Hoffer used to treat schizophrenia with niacin. Niacin is a majorly important brain vitamin. So important that the body actually makes it when we're out of it. Schizophrenics are notoriously deficient in niacin, and they also smoke a lot of cigarettes. It's noticed that the vast majority of schizophrenic patients are cigarette smokers. And I'm not saying there's a causal relationship, but nicotine is similar anyway to niacin. It's not exactly, and it doesn't have the same biological effects, but it's close enough for people who are deficient. At least that's the thinking. If you're trying to quit smoking, that would kind of tell you may want to start supplementing with niacin. I'm not saying it's a way to quit smoking, but it could help. If you suffer from unexplained rashes, likewise, vitamin B3. Vitamin B3 topically on the skin is really fascinating. I put it in a lot of my Truth Skin Health formulations. Niacin is a stress management molecule for the skin and for the body. It helps the body and the skin handle stresses. We all know the skin suffers from environmental stresses, from the sun, probably from pollution. And niacin is used by skin cells to help it handle the sun. When you are exposed to too much sunlight, niacin comes to the rescue in skin cells to help quiet things down, to help skin cells deal with the solar stress, with the ultraviolet stress. Niacin has been used topically to treat acne. It's got effects that are very similar, not in terms of the mechanism, but in terms of the effects, to clindamycin, which is a topical antibiotic that's used for treating acne. It's a great sun-protected and great anti-aging topical, partially because of its ability to help the skin handle stress. Topical niacin is fascinating ingredient. I put it in our Truth Biomimetic Mineral Mist. We've got it in our Truth Peel products. If you're an esthetician, niacin is just amazing stuff. It comes from tryptophan. Tryptophan deficiencies are real. Tryptophan also turns into picolinic acid or picolinate, the body's digestive system's natural chelating agent, and that means picolinate deficiencies are also a thing. I don't know how common they are, but they're definitely a thing. get yourself some tryptophan or eat tryptophan-containing foods. Beans, legumes are good sources of tryptophan. Meat is a good source of tryptophan. Dairy is a good source of tryptophan. Fish is a good source of tryptophan. You can supplement with tryptophan. Tryptophan is also an electromagnetic. How cool is that? Tryptophan is a really cool amino acid. It's the most electromagnetic amino acid, and it actually emits light under certain conditions. Tryptophan, yes, emits light under certain conditions. It works with light. In plants, it's one of the ways plants handle light. You can take 5-HTP. That's a source, a way to get yourself some tryptophan. But tryptophan supplements are pretty easy to find, and also tryptophan-containing foods. By the way, melatonin, there's a very important relationship between melatonin and tryptophan. Melatonin is partially derived, or is derived somewhat from tryptophan. Can you imagine what tryptophan deficiencies do? It can cause niacin deficiencies, melatonin deficiencies, deficiencies in or problems with the body and the skin, in particular handling the sun. In an article in the April 2009 edition of the International Journal of Tryptophan Research, it was noted that picolinate has, quote, a wide range of neuroprotective, immunological, and anti-proliferative, that means anti-cancer, effects within the body. And remember, picolinate deficiency is a real thing. So if you're deficient in tryptophan, you can be deficient in picolinate. If you're deficient in picolinate, you're going to have a problem absorbing nutrients. You're going to have potential neurological and immunological issues, and your body won't be able to handle the stresses of everyday life, including solar stresses and ultraviolet stresses, all of which is to say, get yourself some tryptophan. Make sure you're using make sure that you're helping the body make picolinate, or using picolinate in a supplemental form, as in zinc picolinate or chromium picolinate. And you can also, while you're at it, start working on your pancreas. Picolinate is secreted in the pancreas. And it is the pancreas that is at least partially involved in how we handle zinc out of our foods, and chromium out of our foods, and probably other trace minerals as well. And guess what? Pancreatic issues are also a real thing. If you have any kind of pancreatic issues, it's very likely you're going to be zinc deficient. And pancreatic issues are really not even isolated. Pancreatic issues go under the radar. Chronic diarrhea, or loose stools even, can be a sign of pancreatic deficiency, and that can lead to zinc problems. Between zinc, tryptophan, pancreatic juices, picolinate, chelated minerals, you can see a lot of ways that we are not taking advantage of our nutrition. Nobody ever talks about these things. I wonder how many times people have skin conditions, including adult acne, when it's really what they're dealing with is a digestive problem, and they're going to be treated for their adult acne. No adults should have acne, period, end of story. If you're dealing with adult acne, and from my experience, it's pretty common, the chances are you're dealing with a nutritional issue, likely at the level of the pancreas, the digestive system, zinc, and perhaps hormones that are also related to how our body handles nutrients at the level of the pancreas. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll be back right after this. All right, we are back on The Bright Side. Thanks for joining us. We're on the air Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 Pacific and 10 to 11 Central Time, 24/7 on our very dense archive page at brightsideben.com, where you can purchase longevity products. You can also purchase longevity products at pharmacistben.com. Thank you, Robert, for setting that up for me. And also criticalhealthnews.com. Thank you to John T. Collier for setting that one up. We've got blog posts and news stories and videos on our websites as well. Lots of good health information. They're updated on a somewhat regular basis, so you want to keep checking back. And, of course, you can purchase longevity products off the websites. You can also call the Brightside Ben team, Brightside Ben phone team at 866-735-2470, 866-735-2470. And if you want to join the Brightside Ben team and start a longevity business and be in business for yourself, if you're an entrepreneur and you like the entrepreneur lifestyle, or you just want to get your products at the wholesale price for a one-time $30 fee, you can be in business for yourself. Click on the Join the Team link at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. You can also Call 866-735-2470 for more info. We are at 844-236-6010, 844-236-6010. We do have lines open for you, and we'll get your calls here momentarily. So hang tight. This is from the Journal of Pineal Research. Treating GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease. GERD, or heartburn, that nasty feeling that you get in your throat and your mouth from acid that splashes back up. It's not an antacid issue, folks, no matter what you see on TV. You know, that's the number one best-selling drug, is over-the-counter drug, is a best-selling drug, including prescription drugs for that matter, is antacids. I'm just thinking here as I'm saying this. Did you guys read the story about came out last week about how now they're rethinking aspirin as a treatment? I know I'm digressing here, but I meant to talk about this. They're now telling you that aspirin is not necessarily something you want to take after you have a heart attack or to prevent a heart attack. For decades, they would give you aspirin. Now they're rethinking that. I want to talk about that. I'll probably talk about that here in the next day or two. But it just reminds me of how wrong medical advice is all the time. There's no good time to take a drug. If you're taking an antacid because you got heartburn, you may want to read this article from the Journal of Pineal Research that talks about using melatonin, tryptophan, and vitamin B6. The aim of this study was to investigate if a dietary supplement containing melatonin, tryptophan, remember melatonin comes from tryptophan, vitamin B6, folic acid, and vitamin B12 would help and methionine, which is an amino acid, and betaine, which helps you absorb everything and helps your digestive system work, would help patients with GERD, and to compare the preparation with 20 milligrams of omeprazole, that's Nexium, or Prilosec. And guess what? It works. According to this article, all patients in the nutrition group reported a complete regression of symptoms after 40 days of treatment. On the other hand, 65% of the Nexium folks reported regression of symptoms. So in other words, when you took melatonin, tryptophan, vitamin B6, folic acid, vitamin B12, methionine, and betaine, you got better results. In fact, you got complete regression of symptoms. And a better, way better result than people got with prescription drugs without having to deal with the prescription drugs. Why? Because you supported your body's health rather than suppressed your body's symptoms. That's how you want to look at this, folks. You want to support the body's health rather than suppress the symptoms. In both cases, you will get symptom suppression. But in the one case, you'll get better health, and in the other case, you'll get worse health. So you suppress your symptoms with better health when you use nutrition. You suppress your symptoms with poor health when you use drugs. However, this all presupposes that we understand nutrition. Don't count on your doctor. Your doctor is not going to give you a prescription for melatonin and tryptophan and vitamin B6 and folic acid and B12 and methionine and betaine because he probably didn't read this article and he's probably not listening to the show. But what he did do is he listened to the salesman who came from the Prilosec company and the Nexium company, and he dispenses the poison drugs because in medical school he didn't learn. It's not because he's a bad person. Doctors are good people for the most part. But because in medical school they didn't learn about melatonin and tryptophan and vitamin B6 and folic acid and B12 and methionine and betaine. In fact, not only didn't they learn about it, they laughed about it. They said it was silly. I have a friend who's in nursing school now, and she's learning that all the things we talk about on the bright side are hippie talk. All the things we talk about on the bright side for dealing with health in terms of nutrition and meditation and spirituality and mental and emotional strategies are silly. They're nonsense. That's what she's learning. Now, in nursing school, they're probably a little harsher than in medical school. It's a little more scientific in medical school. Nonetheless, it's along the same lines. The education is along the same lines, marginalizing and dismissing and laughing at all the things we talk about here on this program. And what's the net effect of all of this? We're sicker than ever before. We're the most cancer-ridden, overweight, autoimmune disease-filled, longevity-shortened culture ever. Our longevity, our longevity's obviously increased over in the past, but it's decreased the last couple of years, 2 or 3 years, and we're certainly nowhere near our genetic allotment of 120 years. All right, we'll get your calls here in just a sec, 844-236-6010. This one is amazing to me, and everybody should know about this. Diabetes is predominantly an intestinal disease. This is one of my favorite all-time articles, and I keep it highlighted, and it's on my desktop, my computer desktop, because it's such an important scientific article from the Indian Journal of Endocrinology and Metabolism. Diabetes is predominantly an intestinal disease. This is so important. The conclusion here, research should focus on an approach to bypass the bypass. That is to replace gastric bypass by equally effective treatments for the majority of diabetics. This was a study that was done on diabetics that had gastric bypass. Bypass the bypass is what they concluded, because diabetes is an intestinal issue. Work on the intestine. Work on intestinal health if you have diabetes. We've talked about this. I've talked about this for years. Diabetes is the second point on the triangle of disease. It follows digestive system breakdown, as particularly messed up gut bacteria. And we're going to talk about that in the coming days, because dysbiosis or messed up gut bacteria is a consequence of pancreatic issues. Very interesting relationship between the pancreas and gut bacteria, which we will be covering in the next couple of days on the bright side. All right, this is, I think I'll save these for tomorrow. Time to hit the phones. 844-236-6010 is our number. Let's go to California and say good morning to Melody. What's up, Melody? How you doing?
Hi, Ben. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, I have two quick questions. Speaking of nutrients, am I missing any nutrients if I'm taking bone broth only for my protein instead of eating meat?
Heck yeah. Of course you are. You're not getting the flesh protein. There's cartilage protein and there's flesh protein. Your cartilage protein is what most people are deficient in, because most people eat lots of meat. But the bone broth is going to get you the cartilage protein. But there's also the flesh protein, the fleshy amino acids. Hang on. That's a very interesting distinction that we don't often make when it comes to meat. There's the cartilage protein and there's the flesh protein. They're a little different. Hang on, Melody. We'll finish up when we come back from our break, okay? Don't go away. I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. You're listening to The Bright Side. We will return right after this. On the bright side, got lines open, 844-236-6010. We're talking to Melody in California about bone broth protein, which I absolutely love, but it is not bone broth. Melody, you asked about bone broth protein, right?
Right.
But that's not bone broth. Bone broth is a liquid that contains everything. Now, if you're using the whole chicken, which is the best way to do your bone broth, you get all the flesh, and the flesh is different from the cartilage. Bone broth protein is not necessarily the same thing depending on how they make it. You have to look at the nutritional supplement facts. If it's coming from the whole meat and you're getting the flesh amino acids and all the things that are in the flesh, it's going to be a complete food. If it's just the cartilage, which is what everybody's looking for these days, is the cartilage, then you're going to get the collagen, which is great. You'll get the proteoglycans, which are great. And it's very helpful for building your own cartilage, your own connective tissue, for your fascia. If you're recovering from surgery, if you want to prevent prolapses and hernias and slow down wrinkle formation and support the immune system, cartilage also supports the immune system. It's great. But the amino acids in the flesh are a little bit different, and those are involved in building things, and they're very important. So you really want everything, is what I'm saying. But the collagen is the stuff that gets all the press these days, and that's because most people do get enough of the meat. But if you're a vegetarian, you may not be. So you kind of want to focus on the amino acids that are coming from the flesh. If you're a vegetarian, pretty much you're stuck with fleshy seeds like soy. I say fleshy because they're not really fleshy, of course, but they have substance to them. Legumes. That's why legumes are the best, used as a substitute, and also mushrooms. Legumes and mushrooms are used as substitutes for meat for vegetarians because they're dense with these kinds of proteins, similar proteins that you find in fleshy foods. So if you're going to be a vegetarian, then that kind of means you're going to be stuck eating a lot of legumes and also mushrooms if you want to get those kinds of amino acids. So distinguish the amino acids from flesh from the amino acids from cartilage, and then look on your nutrition facts on your bone broth protein and make sure that you're getting all the amino acids. That's the most important thing you do. You'll be getting the good stuff in the cartilage for sure, but you want to make sure you're getting all the amino acids as well. I hope I answered your question there, Melanie.
Yeah. So how much protein should...
No answer to that.
What's the daily intake?
No answer to that. No, anybody who tells you you should have so much protein per day doesn't know what they're talking about. It's not fair, really. It's kind of mean-spirited because it's really it leads people to believe that that this is what they need, and nobody really knows what any individual needs, depending on the amount of stress you're under, the amount of exercise you're doing, the amount of building the body is going through. All of these are going to be factors determining how much protein you need. Now, if you want a rough guideline, and this is very rough, so it's almost useless, but since you asked, a rough guideline is like a gram or so per pound of body weight, half a gram to a gram per pound of body weight. That's very rough because it's not just body weight, it's lean body weight. And as I say, it depends on how much stress your body's under, how much recovery you're doing, if you're post-surgery, if you're building a baby, if you're young. I mean, there's all kinds of factors that go into it, but if you want a rough guideline, it would be half a gram to a gram of protein per pound of body weight, but that's very rough.
And is the best source of fleshy protein like grass-fed versus
always
chicken?
Grass-fed. Definitely always grass-fed. Cows are not supposed, in nature, cows don't eat corn. They don't eat soy. They eat grass. That's what cows, that's what cows are supposed to be eating. That's what the meat is supposed to have on it. So, that's a whole nother problem with meat. And as important as food meat can be, there's the philosophical aspect of killing animals, and I totally understand that. And then there's also the pollution aspect of what we feed our animals. So if you are going to be a carnivore because you just said, that's our evolutionary path is to be a carnivore, I understand that. But make sure you're clear on the fact that the meat we eat today is not the meat that our Paleolithic ancestors ate. So much for paleo on that. If you can go hunt, that's great, and you're hunting grass-fed moose or whatever, buffalo, that's different. But if you're going to McDonald's because you're going paleo, or you're even going to Safeway or King Soopers, or even a fancy restaurant and eating steak because you think you're going paleo, understand that ain't paleo. Our caveman ancestors didn't eat steak at Morton's. They hunted. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
Anything else, my dear?
Well, I don't know. Do you have time for just another quick question?
Quickie. I got a bunch of people on
Menopause muffin top. What do you do with that?
Say that again?
That?
Muffin top?
Menopause. Yeah.
Muffin top. Is that on the? I've heard the term. I'm not sure I understand what that means.
It's
where
you get the belly. You get the belly fat.
Insulin.
I've never.
That's
ever,
the insulin.
Ever had it.
That's the insulin and the blood sugar.
Okay, well, I've been really good with that, and I'm still having issues. I cut out sugar, cut out carbs.
A couple. That's not just that. I'm not sure I know what a muffin top is, but I'm thinking it's kind of a bulge. Belly fat. Yeah, okay, belly fat is insulin. Okay. Belly fat is how you handle insulin. And keep in mind, protein gets turned into sugar. Do you know this?
Exactly. That's why I was cutting back, and I was just trying to do,
make your body think it's in starvation mode by going ketogenic. That's what the ketogenic diet does, is it tells the body it's in starvation mode. So the body on its own will take care of the metabolism, building more muscle and helping you burn fat. So the ketogenic diet is the way to go for muffin top by far. And remember, the ketogenic diet is not just high fat. The ketogenic diet, this is the most important part that nobody ever thinks about or talks about. The ketogenic diet, folks, is low calorie, tiny calorie. And that's why if you're going ketogenic because you think it's fun, because you could eat all the bacon you want, you're wrong, and it's not going to work. That's what people think ketogenic is fun because they can eat lots of fat, and everybody loves fat. And they can eat lots of steak, and everybody loves steak. But what people are missing on the ketogenic diet when they don't get the benefit is that protein gets turned into sugar, number one, and also it's a low-calorie starvation diet. And while I'm on the subject of things people miss, cortisol and stress hormone will give you a muffin top. Stress hormone will give you a muffin top because stress hormone, cortisol, is one of the reasons our blood sugar goes up. And between food and cortisol, you have your two major reasons why blood sugar gets thrown off, why we become resistant to insulin, why we age, why we gain weight and have muffin tops, as you say, and generally speaking, why we're not as healthy as we should be. And that's blood sugar, elevated blood sugar or messed up blood sugar, which follows wrong food choices and elevated stress hormone.
Okay, got it.
Okay, my dear. Have a beautiful day, Melody.
So much. You too. Thanks.
Good.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Okay, Carl, the Truth Raider. What is up? Long time no talk to, my friend.
Hey, Buddy Ben. Hey,
what's going on?
First of all, I think your shoe's untied.
Okay. I'm wearing slippers, but that's okay.
Oh, one didn't work. Okay. Well, happy
I'm not
April
sure what that was
Fool's
about. Oh, April Fool's Day.
Right.
Oh, I wonder what's going to happen today. Okay, what's going on? Thank you for bringing that up to my attention.
Hey, in peas, like I'm not sure it's inclusive of legumes or anything else, but I know it's for peas or
They are
green beans.
legumes. And there's pea protein. Have you seen pea protein everywhere now? I'm going to the nutrition show. I'm going to a nutrition trade show, the big one, next week. There's two big ones every year. And always you see all kinds of pea protein powders and pea protein additives. And pea protein is the big protein now because it's really cheap and it's a legume. So it's a good source of protein. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Carl.
Well, when it decomposes, I notice that it grows a kind of like a Elmer's glue or a slime all over it when it decomposes.
Well, all proteins when proteins decompose, they're not pretty.
Yeah. Right. So is that the goo? Is that the protein?
Yeah, it probably is. I haven't seen. Where did you see it decomposing?
I have a salad tray or one of those snack trays where you get carrots, cauliflower, broccoli, peas, carrots, and tomatoes, and they also have peas, little sugar snap peas.
Yeah.
It stayed in the refrigerator, and I forgot to eat it in time, and they grew a slime all over the peas, like a white gooey slime. So
that could be the protein decomposing. Protein. Everything loves protein, so protein gets acted upon by bacteria and other living things. So everything loves protein. It could be glycation. It could be a sugar reaction. It could be oxidation. I don't know exactly what you mean by decomposes, but yes, proteins break down. They rot in the digestive tract. They putrefy is the technical term. And this is why you got to be really, really respectful of protein and make sure that your digestive system is working as it should. Putrefaction of protein, especially meat protein, in the intestine is a very bad thing. It's not a good thing at all. And all proteins, to a certain extent, will putrefy if they're left out. And I haven't seen that exact reaction that you're talking about, Carl, the Truth Raider. But yes, your point is well taken that protein will decompose, it will putrefy, it will rot, and that's why you want to one of the reasons anyway why you want to respect the protein and make sure your pancreas is working correctly and you're producing all the enzymes you need. You're on a supplement program, and I like drinking protein because it's pre-digested, and that's where smoothies come in. Carl, the Truth Raider, we're out of time, my friend. Thanks for your call. Appreciate it. Thank you to all my Bright Side listeners. Sorry if we left you on hold, but that's all the time we have for today. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Have yourselves a wonderful, beautiful, awesome, spectacular day. We'll talk to y'all later, folks. Bye for now.